stayed in Rosano Garcia for a few days. We were not in prison, but we were not completely free either. At night, we slept in a small house nearby, and during the day we stayed outside the whole time. Omar Yar became sick and was taken to the hospital. By then our local medical cash had run out. We only had US dollars. I went around looking for a place where I could exchange the money. I entered a restaurant and asked if they could change the dollars, but they said they do not exchange them. The man pointed to a group of white men sitting there. I went over, greeted them, and politely asked if they could help me exchange the money. An elderly man asked me where I was coming from. I told him Tanzania. He turned away and stayed silent for a moment. Shortly after, he asked again, "Are you Tanzanian?" I replied, "No, I lived in Tanzania, but I am Somali." He told me to sit on a chair next to him and asked what I wanted to drink. I said no, I only wanted to exchange money. He asked if I spoke Italian. I told him no and explained that before I was born, the education system had changed, so the younger generation does not speak Italian. He asked how much I wanted to exchange. I said $100. He exchanged it honestly and gave me the correct amount, 450 rand. He warned me, "Be careful. There are many thieves in this place. Protect yourself." I was very grateful to that elderly man. Even though I did not know which country he was from, he was a good man. When I returned to where we were staying, I met Omar Yare, who had just come back from the hospital. He was feeling a bit better. The next morning, we were taken by a truck to a police station in Maputo. They locked us in a room for a while. Later we told them the place was too cold, and they agreed and brought us outside. Late in the afternoon, they picked us up again and took us to immigration. Immigration was closed, and they told us to stay there. When we asked why, they said we would receive documents and should just wait. From Friday until Monday afternoon, we slept outside in the immigration compound in an open area. Even so, we were free. We could move around and go wherever we wanted. On Monday, immigration opened and we were allowed inside. We stayed there the whole day. Shortly before we were released, the man in charge of immigration came out because he wanted to leave. One of the officers whom we had spoken to earlier that morning talked to him. Although we did not understand the language, we could tell they were discussing our situation. A short while later, they gave us papers. They told us we had a few days and could leave, and if our time expired, we could renew the documents. But I did not want to stay in Mozambique. We moved immediately. We boarded a small car heading towards Swaziland. After some time, the driver dropped us in a dark, isolated place on the Mozambique side. As soon as we got out, two men approached the driver, not us. They seemed to be questioning him, trying to find out who we were and what he was doing there. From the way the conversation sounded, it was clear the discussion was tense. The driver then told us that the town was behind us. We started walking, and I noticed that the situation did not feel safe. Omar whispered to me, "These people are thieves. They want to finish us." I told him, "They won't take anything from us." Omar said, "I'm tired. We can't defend ourselves if something happens." I replied, "Don't worry. They won't take anything from us." Fortunately, before anything happened, a small car approached from behind. Omar raised his hand and the car stopped. The driver was a young boy, whom I estimated to be around 16 to 18 years old, sharp and alert. We asked him to take us to a hotel. He drove us to a small but decent hotel. When we tried to pay him, he refused and said, "No charge for you."